What's up, guys? This is Rise and welcome to another video. Recently, we went on an incredible run in the Go Battle League with the double Gator team, or the Gator Boys, as I have decided to coin it in this video, a play on a former television show that I never watched, but I'm hoping that show wasn't like controversial or anything. As far as I know, it was just like a fun show about like people catching alligators or something. Anyway, the Gator Boys team, and I actually casted an APAC tournament, and I was up really late. It went to like 4 a.m. my time, and I decided to do some GBL sets, and I went on like a crazy 14-1 run, and you see that my ELO right there, 2984, playing against Crescent Angels, one of the best players in the world, on the cusp of legend, and that was the ELO I ended at. But before we get to that set, we're going to start off with a few sets before that, the set that got me to Expert that I had recorded, and then we're going to follow up with the set that got me to that 2984 ELO. So first things first, we actually started things off with, let's see. My bad. Uh-oh, shoot. That's not smooth at all. This team. There we go. So with this first iteration of the team, we went with the Cresselia lead. And in the second iteration of the team, we switch up the lead. But both teams have the same backline of Shadow Feraligatr and Skeledirge. Rise, can I run regular Feraligatr with this team? Yes, you can. I think regular Feraligatr has its matchups that work well. I prefer running the Shadow because it's just extra oppressive. And of course, we see another Mandibuzz lead with this team. And the previous video I made with this team, we also started off seeing a Mandibuzz lead. And oh my gosh, in comes Victory Bell. But I'm hoping this could set up maybe some sort of win condition by giving me this energy. This is awkward, right? Because do I take the Leaf Blade knowing that it'll chip me and maybe set up a Snarl down? But like, oh, and there's a Whiscash in back. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. So just like perfectly hard countered in this first game. Which is crazy, right? We're making a video about how successful this team was and how crazy of a run. But even in this first battle, right, we're showcasing get pretty much perfectly hard countered by this opponent. I save a Disarming Voice. Honestly, maybe I should have just fired off the move there. Maybe that would have been more useful to get that final shield and maybe set up Cresselia for the end game. But the problem is Mandibuzz is so bulky that even double Moonblast doesn't quite knock out. So we're going to go for the Moonblast here. And as you see, it doesn't quite put it into the yellow. After one Psycho Cut, it did. So Moonblast just doesn't quite do enough to two-shot it because the Psycho Cuts do such little damage. Baiting is just a little bit too risky, in my opinion. If they call the bait, they just win on the spot. So I'm just going to go for the Moonblast here. It does connect, and you know what? It actually does put it low. So I'm hoping maybe the only win condition at this point would be if like one Incinerate could KO and I live the Snarls, but I don't. And that's going to be a GG. I surrender when the Snarl would have KO'd anyway. So I probably should have just let the Snarl KO. I don't know if that's like bad sportsmanship or not. But good game. We start off with a loss. But let's see. Because this may or may not be our expert set. So we'll try to turn around that first loss of the set with some wins to follow it up and gain some ELO here. Got some iced coffee. Question of the video. What's your coffee order if you're a coffee drinker? Or let me know if you're not a coffee drinker. Cresselia into Altaria. Pretty even matchup. Now that I have a good Cresselia, I oftentimes am able to get that bulk point where these Dragon Breaths do not do that much to my Cresselia, which is really nice. We are building up, building up. They make a beautiful catch onto Clodsire. So really nice catch by them. I was a little bit overzealous there, just going for it right away. I don't throw Hydra right away because I wasn't convinced it would knock out. Maybe it would have. Maybe it would have. I wasn't convinced, though. So I overfarm to max energy, and then I go for Hydro. Now I'm expecting it to knock out the Clodsire, and it does. I have energy ready for Altaria. Could I have gone for the Hydro here to knock out? Potentially, but what I didn't want to happen was they call the Hydro, they hang on, and they get the move off anyway. So I just go safe for the Ice Beam. I'm thinking if they Sky Attack, I might reach Hydro, but they actually Moonblast. Really smart play. The opponent's playing this game really clever. I come back in with Crest. They've got a ton of energy. I'm going to let this go. I know I can take a move here. It's going to be another Moonblast. Wow. Going to go for the Grass Knot. It's double resisted, but I'm hoping it's just about enough to knock out from here. Grass Knot coming through. They hang on with a sliver of health. They come in Whiscash, and then check out what happens here. I'm getting a little bit nervous. I go for the Grass Knot. They let it go. What on earth? And then one Incinerate knocks out. So I'm not sure what the opponent was thinking there. I think my Crest would reach 2 Grass Knots no matter what. However, and granted, the opponent doesn't know what's in the back. But, like, the opponent could have shielded, gone for double Mud Bomb, or they could have shielded, gone for Scald, debuff to me. Then they lived the Mud Bomb better. Or they lived the Grass Knot better, excuse me. So I was really confused that they decided to take that Grass Knot. It was kind of weird. Anyway, we'll take it. Cresselia into Vigoroth. Positive matchup for Cresselia. What's the most efficient way to play this matchup? I'm not sure. Cresselia is a Pokemon I'm still kind of learning. I haven't used it very often in the Great League, so I went for the Moonblast, then I go for Grass Knot. They catch it on their own Cresselia, and this is totally fine with me. I end up deciding... Oh, this is actually crazy. Check out what happens here. I farm up a ton, knowing I have a hard answer in my Skeledirge, and I catch, and I get the Incinerate through, and I'm like, yo, let's go. But check this out. They waited, and they actually Future Sight. I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Holy cow. The patience. They saw the catch. So then I respect this one. Gonna overfarm here. Go for the Shadow Ball. This is actually a charge attack priority on a Grass Knot, I believe. But I was able to double up here. So I have the Disarming ready for Vig, which is nice. Get some valuable chip damage off here. Maybe put it into farm down range. They come in with Sabe, which is a little tough now. But I've got a ton of energy. So that energy I have banked on Crest is really nice here. And then I actually do something kind of bold. I don't even bother building to the Moonblast. I just go straight Grass Knot. Because I figure even if he takes it, it might put him into like a Shadow Claw down type situation. And then I'm like, you know, I can probably survive one foul play. And the spamminess of Feraligatr is so nice here, knowing that I can survive the foul play and still reach this Hydro Cannon so quickly. And you saw me actually elect to take an extra Shadow Claw or two there just to give this Vigoroth a little bit less farm. Vigoroth already has a lot of energy stored. So what we just don't want to happen is give it so much energy to the point where it spams off so many body slams it can actually overcome this situation. But we should be fine here. And Cresselia gets the job done. G to the G. Sableye could be a real menace to this team in certain spots, but luckily we were able to handle it in that game. And we go on to the next one. But yeah, let me know how you guys are doing in this Go Battle League season. Let me know what your goals are, whether you're trying to maybe hit Ace for the first time, maybe Veteran for the first time, striving for that Expert rank, which can be tough, or even if you're shooting for the moon, going for that coveted Legend rank. That is mightily impressive. What's with these Q times, bro? What's with these Q times, Niantic? I always get scared. I don't want to scroll ahead in the footage because then I don't want to like go into the battle. Then I have to go back and then it's all wonky. Oh man, we're really testing my patience here. Patience is a virtue. There we go. Okay. Whew. Ibrahimovic. Tough lead. So we're going to go straight into Gator because swapping Dirge into Dirge behind just isn't fun. I decided to go straight for Ice Beam here. You could probably bait, but this is like the safer option because you guarantee the shield or the knockout versus if they call Hydro, suddenly you're in like a pretty bad spot. So at this point, I'm like, you know what? I can safely just shield and guarantee both shields. And I'm pretty much putting them into Moonblast range. So I kind of like this because I'm setting up my own Skeledirge up a shield in the back. So I know my Cresselia is like dead weight anyway, right? Against their Skeledirge. So I'm just willing to use it as a sponge to soak up this damage here. get rid of their Altaria. And I'm just going to make a bet on red, or am I betting on black? what? I guess Skeletor would be betting on red. It's a fire type. We're up a shield. They swap in Gator. Luckily for us, it's a Shadow Gator. And we get into full Incinerate. So that's huge. I'm going to overfarm by 1 here. And this is going to come down to a charge attack priority because both of our Gators are going to be 1 off the Shadow Ball. So this is going to come down to charge attack priority. And we win the charge attack priority. IVs don't matter until they matter. And that is a GG. So nice win there. Tough lead for us, but we just aggressively swapped our harder counter. Because imagine, right, if we just swap our own Gator, they can just stay in. Also, if we had swapped our own Gator, actually no, if we had swapped our own Gator, they go in for Alligator, and then we're like in a terrible spot, honestly. So that was a rare situation where swapping our hard response ended up being the correct move. If we had swapped our soft counter, our own Dirge, I think we were doomed right from the start. So we made the right read there, which is nice. Sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes you make the wrong read. Like based off the back line, right? Maybe our own Dirge would have been the better play. Neutral matchup here. I'm sure you guys see this from time to time. My former Cresselia. I kept taking shots at my former Cresselia on stream. People were making fun of me. My former Cresselia was so bad that it could not withstand 2 digs from Gligar. This Cresselia can. They come in Lickitung. If you guys do run this team, Lickitung is pretty safe. It's pretty neutral, so you kind of have to tag team it. Sometimes what I do is what you're seeing here. I chip it with Cresselia, throw a couple of charge attacks at it, and then I go in with Skeledirge, where you do take the super effective lick damage, but they have no charge attack pressure. Everything's resisted. So, and this person, for some reason, kept throwing Body Slam. I'm not sure what they were thinking. If either they're running a Hyper Beam, or if they didn't realize that Body Slam was less efficient because it's double resisted as opposed to single resisted. Unless triple Body Slam might be better than like Power Whip Body Slam. I'm not sure. Maybe that was the play. In comes Charge-a-Bug. Interesting. Going for the Shadow Ball here. I just go for Voice right away. We get it really low. I aggressively pivot because the next Volt Switch would have knocked out my Skeledirge anyway. So rather than give them the free farm, I aggressively swap. And then this is a huge call. They've got a ton of energy. I call the Aerial Ace. And now we're going to be able to withstand the wing attack damage while still hiding behind a shield and try to get to double Hydro Cannon here. Feraligatr looking mean, looking fierce. Gets to the double Hydro Cannon, and this, of course, will knock out the Shadow Gligar. Would pretty much knock out from full health. And 1 Shadow Claw knocks out the Charge-a-Bug before the Volt Switch registers. So that was 4 consecutive wins after that opening loss you guys saw. And this was the set that got us to the expert rank in the Go Battle League. We catch Marini the Meanie. And let's see what this Elo puts us at here. 2763. So I was running this team, and I don't really know what came over me, but I think I was starting. I think I had a couple negative sets, like a 2-3, a 1-4, and based off what I was seeing just off stream, I was like, you know, Gligar would be a lot like better just based off what the meta I'm currently seeing. Maybe like I'm seeing more Annihilate, and although this team is like good against Annihilate, it's still like kind of awkward for Cresselia because they like swap and then they get a farm down. And like Annihilate with energy just becomes awkward. I think I was seeing like a handful of Charge-a-Bug. I think I was seeing a handful of like Shadow Magnezone in the lead, which is pretty bad for this team. Whereas Gligar's not really the best against Shadow Magnezone, to be honest, but it's better than Cresselia. So I just felt like based off the meta I was seeing some Venusaur as well. I felt like based off what I was seeing, Gligar made more sense. So we actually made an adjustment, and we put in Gligar instead of the Cresselia. And then that brings us to this set, Crescent Angels, this is actually a little bit out of order. Crescent Angels was actually the last battle. So I'll skip ahead of Crescent Angels. And we'll start off with this one right here. Shoot. Sorry, a little bit sloppy there. Mari Monster here, who already hit Legend. Congrats to them. Shadow Gligar into Lickitung. And then check out this sequence, if I pull it off. But I was seeing a handful of Lickitung leads as well, which Crest isn't bad against by any means, but it doesn't love. And I noticed, right, Lickitung is going to be inclined to try and throw the Body Slam before I get to my second dig, right? So that I came into the situation a few times. I catch the Body Slam and get an Incinerate through, which is really nice. And then he's staying in, so he doesn't have an obvious counter swap. And I recognize that, so I'm like, I'll shield the Power Whip, I guess. Keep some health here. And then he's thinking, and top left, so must have been pretty weak to Dirge in the back, so we'll take it. But it's nice when a game just goes that way for you. Apologies to Mari Monster. Obviously, that's like a game if you're on the opposite side. It's like, wow, Rise really showing that game, like the game that did not go my way. But here we are, another Lickitung lead. Gligar into Lickitung, and these are in like the 2900s, this set, as we talked about. Kind of like first page leaderboard range. And we do the same exact thing as we did the previous game. We play it out, and then we catch the Body Slam and get the Incinerate through. In comes Mantine, which isn't really amazing, but it's not the worst. And we actually showed the Water Pulse correctly, which is pretty nice. Because it's only the Water Pulse that threatens us, right? Aerial Ace isn't that threatening. The wing attacks aren't that threatening. It's that Water Pulse after 7 wing attacks that would be kind of devastating to our health. At this point, I feel like I'm okay letting my Skeledirge go. And then I decide to come in with Feraligatr. I do lag a turn here, which is unfortunate. So I'm going to end up taking 1 extra wing attack worth of damage, but not the end of the world. We get a nice little farm down, and it's Annihilate in the back. And I do have an Aerial Ace loaded on my Gligar. So what I decided to do here is just back to back, and I can fire this off. And this is going to connect. And he actually boosted there. And I know that this will put it into wing attack down range. And I can simply fire off a dig. I do 3 just to be safe, put it into dig range. I think it already was just about in dig range, but just to be safe. And then 1 wing attack knocks out Annihilate. Nice little win there. We go against Rockhaven, amazing trainer. Has been dominating the Play Pokemon circuit this season. Good lead for us. They swap Guzzlord, though, which we don't really have a good answer to. So we have to be creative here. Also have to be worried about that Poliwrath, because it does really well against our Feraligatr. And if it's like up energy or up shields, it could also beat our Skeledirge. So we're going to be forced to stay in here. I'm staying in, going for an Aerial Ace. And then I'm able to catch and get the Incinerate through, which is exactly what I wanted. And I'm really hoping 2 Incinerates knocks out, but check this out. Guzzlord hangs on with 1 HP, so that's devastating for me. I don't want to use my last shield, because then that could leave me vulnerable in the end game. So Guzzlord getting off that last move is pretty terrible for us. In comes Skarm. I get off a Parting Shadow Ball, which is kind of nice. So Skarm's at 3. I have to keep that in mind, right? Skarm's at 3. Try to remember that. He knows I'm not going to come in with Gligar, so he just instant swaps. I come back Gligar, get off my Aerial Ace, and this is so weird. I go for Aerial Ace. He throws a move, and I was like, I didn't even realize that this was only Pup. I was like, if I didn't realize that was Pup, I wouldn't have shielded. But But I get this off because I remembered Skarm was only at 3. And I'm like, I should just, I'm 5 off, right? I'm 5 off every time. So I should just get to the charge attack priority. And we get there. And hopefully this Hydro Cannon knocks out the Skarmory in a really closely fought game. And we're able to take down Rockhaven there and get the win. So that was a 5-0 set, actually. I went on a crazy, like, 14-1 run, like, before I went to bed. Sometimes those runs just happen when you're least expecting them, right? When you're least expecting them. It's like finding love. It's when you least expect it. And 2984, there you have it. And the Crescent Angels battle I'll show you. This was the first battle of the next set, which did, I will tell you, end up being a 2-3 set. So we did not hit legend, but we're gonna try. And we get a positive lead here. And Crescent Angels is staying in, which tells me he's probably double weak to the Gligar, right? So we're gonna shield our Gligar, preserve some health, farm down, and in comes Skarm. We safe swap Gator. Rather than throwing immediately, which I feel like you should normally do here, I decided to farm up extra because I didn't know if he would, like, wait for me to throw to store the energy and then swap something. So I wanted to, like, make sure if I, like, had residual energy. And I actually kind of took advantage of the double CMP mechanic here, which is a little bit cheesy. Double CMP, some of you probably know what I'm talking about. Some of you don't, but basically, like, you both throw CMP. I have 2 moves, so it gives you, like, a double CMP. And then it's Venu in the back, so we just had, like, we had 2 core breakers, basically, so sorry, Crescent Angels. Another game where there's really, like, not a whole lot he could have done. Not a whole lot of breakdown here, to be honest. And Gligar hangs on with 1 HP. And gets the final shield. We come in Dirge. You know, if this was Shadow Venu, I wonder if there would have been some play. Because Shadow... Oh, never mind. Because 2 Frenzies might have knocked out, I was saying, but didn't get there. Anyway, that's the video, which got us to 11 on the global leaderboard, our highest ranking of this season so far. We have dropped already a little bit since then in one day, so we're not quite there anymore. But thank you guys so much for your support. And if you want to try this team out for yourselves, feel free. Do you need to run Shadow for Alligator? No, not necessarily. I think regular for Alligator is great. Do you need to run Shadow Gligar? I'm of the opinion that Shadow Gligar is just straight up better than regular Gligar. I think the damage from regular Gligar is just very underwhelming with Aerial Ace Dig versus from Shadow. Like that Shadow Dig can two-shot so many things, and that Aerial Ace is just a lot more threatening against so many things. So I do think Shadow Gligar is a lot better personally than regular, but I think you can get away with regular for Alligator as opposed to Shadow for Alligator. I think either one of those works. All that said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit that like button, comment down below. All comments are appreciated. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And all that said, thank y'all for watching. Yeah, that's right. Thank you. I'm talking to you. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.